Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Part 2. Of the Knight's Challenge. Nay, quoth the stranger, so help me he that sitteth on high, 'twas not mine errand to tarry any while in this dwelling, but the praise of this thy folk and thy city is lifted up on high, and thy warriors are holden for the best and the most valiant of those who ride mail-clad to the fight. The wisest and worthiest of this world are they, and well proven in all knightly sports. And here, as I have heard tell, is fairest courtesy. Therefore I have come hither, as at this time. Ye may be sure by the branch that I bear here that I come in peace, seeking no strife. For had I willed to journey in warlike guise, I have at home both hauberk and helm, shield and shining spear, and other weapons to mine hand. But since I seek no war, my raiment is that of peace. But if thou be as bold as all men tell, thou wilt freely grant me the boon I ask. And Arthur answered, Sir Knight, if thou cravest battle here, thou shalt not fail for lack of a foe. And the knight answered, Nay, I shall ask no fight. In faith here on the benches are but beardless children. Were I clad in armor on my steed, there is no man here might match me. Therefore I ask in this court but a Christmas jest, for that it is Yuletide and New Year, and there are here many fain for sport. If any one in this hall holds himself so hardy, so bold both of blood and brain, as to dare strike me one stroke for another, I will give him as a gift this axe, which is heavy enough, in sooth, to handle as he may list, and I will abide the first blow, unarmed as I sit. If any knight be so bold as to prove my words, let him come swiftly to me here, and take this weapon. I quit claim to it. He may keep it as his own, and I will abide his stroke firm on the floor. Then shalt thou give me the right to deal him another. The respite of a year and a day shall he have. Now haste, and let's see whether any here dare say aught. The silence of the knights. Now if the knights had been astounded at the first, yet stiller were they all, high and low, when they heard his words. The knight on his steed straightened himself in the saddle and rolled his eyes fiercely around the hall. Red they gleamed under his green and bushy brows. He frowned and twisted his beard, waiting to see who would rise. And when none answered, he cried aloud in mockery, What, is this Arthur's hall? And these the knights whose renown hath run through many realms? Where are now your pride and your conquests, your wrath and anger and mighty words? Now are the praise and renown of the Round Table overthrown by one man's speech, since all keep silent for dread ere ever they have seen a blow. With that, he laughed so loudly that the blood rushed to the king's fair face for very shame, and he waxed wroth, as did all his knights, and sprang to his feet, and drew near to the stranger, and said, Now, by heaven, foolish is thy asking, and thy folly shall find its fitting answer. I know no man aghast at thy great words. Give me here thine axe, and I shall grant thee the boon thou hast asked. Lightly he sprang to him and caught at his hand, and the knight, fierce of aspect, lighted down from his charger. Then Arthur took the axe and gripped the haft and swung it round, ready to strike. And the knight stood before him, taller by the head than any in the hall. He stood and stroked his beard and drew down his coat, no more dismayed for the king's threats than if one had brought him a drink of wine. How Sir Gawain dared the venture. Then Gawain, who sat by the queen, leaned forward to the king and spake, I beseech you, my lord, let this venture be mine. Would ye but bid me rise from this seat, and stand by your side, so that my liege lady thought it not ill, then would I come to your counsel before this goodly court. For I think it not seemly, when such challenges be made in your hall, that ye yourself should undertake it, while there are many bold knights who sit beside ye. None are there, methinks, of readier will under heaven, or more valiant in open field. I am the weakest, I wot, and the feeblest of wit, and it will be the less loss of my life if ye seek sooth. For save that ye are mine uncle, naught is there in me to praise. No virtue is there in my body save your blood, and since this challenge is such folly that it beseems ye not to take it, and I have asked it from ye first, let it fall on me, and if I bear myself ungallantly, then let all this court blame me. Then they all spake with one voice that the king should leave this venture, and grant it to Gawain. Then Arthur commanded the knight to rise, and he rose up and quickly and knelt down before the king, and caught a hold of the weapon. And the king loosened his hold of it, and lifted up his hand, and gave him his blessing, and bade him be strong, both of heart and hand. Keep thee well, nephew, quoth Arthur, that thou give him but the one blow, and if thou redest him rightly, I trow thou shalt well abide the stroke he may give thee after. The making of the covenant. Gawain stepped to the stranger, axe in hand, and he, never fearing, awaited his coming. Then the Green Knight spake to Sir Gawain, Make we our covenant ere we go further. First I ask thee, knight, what is thy name? Tell me truly, that I may know thee. In faith, quoth the good knight, Gawain am I, who giveth thee this buffet. Let what may come of it. And at this time 12 month will I take another at thine hand, with whatsoever weapon thou wilt, and none other. Then the other answered again, Sir Gawain, so may I thrive as I am fain to take this buffet at thy hand. And he quoth further, Sir Gawain, it liketh me well that I shall take at thy fist that which I have asked here, and thou hast readily and truly rehearsed all the covenant that I asked of the king, save that thou shalt swear me by thy troth to seek me thyself wherever thou hopest that I may be found, and win thee such reward as thou dealest me today before this folk. Where shall I seek thee, quoth Gawain? Where is thy place? By him that made me, I wot never where thou dwellest, nor know I thee, knight of thy court, nor thy name. But teach me truly all that pertaineth thereto, and tell me thy name, and I shall use all my wit to win my way thither, and that I swear thee forsooth, and by my sure troth. That is enough in the new year, it needs no more, quoth the Green Knight to the gallant Gawain. If I tell thee truly, when I have taken the blow, and thou hast smitten me, then will I teach thee of my house and home, and mine own name. Then mayest thou ask thy road, and keep covenant. And if I waste no words, then farest thou the better, for thou canst dwell in thy land, and seek no further. But take now thy toll, and let's see how thou strikest. Gladly will I, quoth Gawain, handling his axe. The giving of the blow. Then the Green Knight swiftly made him ready. He bowed down his head, and laid his long locks on the crown, that his bare neck might be seen. Gawain gripped his axe and raised it on high. The left foot he set forward on the floor, and let the blow fall lightly on the bare neck. The sharp edge of the blade sundered the bones, smote through the neck, and clave it in two, so that the edge of the steel bit on the ground, and the fair head fell to the earth, that many struck it with their feet as it rolled forward. And we'll continue with this story in the next video. Thanks so much for listening. Hey, please reach down, click like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. I love you guys, as Tigger says. Ta-ta for now.